Okay, so those are the cures, the checklist, but then there's also the 5 laws of gold. And
Mm.
this part is framed a bit differently, isn't it? It's Arkad passing wisdom to his son, no monsieur.
Right, this is the trust fund kid scenario. Arkad wants to make sure his son isn't just a spoiled heir, so he gives him a bag of gold, a tablet with these laws, and sends him out into the world.
To prove he can handle it.
Exactly. And the laws are less about actions and more about the nature of money. It almost treats gold like a living thing with a personality.
It does. It talks about what gold likes and what it hates.
Laws 1 and 2 are about attraction. Gold comes gladly to the one who saved 10%, and it labors diligently for the wise owner. Basically, money likes to be saved, and it likes to work. It hates being idle.
But then law 3 is about caution. Gold clings to the protection of the cautious owner who invests under the advice of wise men.
Clings. I love that word choice.
Me too! It implies money is slippery. It wants to get away.
You have to hold on to it with wisdom. And then you get the warnings. Laws 4 and 5 are about how gold slips away, or even flees.
Fleas is a strong word.
It is. Law 4 says gold slips away from the person who invests in businesses he's not familiar with.
There's the brickmaker again. Don't invest in what you don't understand.
It's the circle of competence that Warren Buffett talks about. But, 100 years ago,
And law 5.
gold flees the person who would force it to impossible earnings or follows the advice of tricksters and schemers.
So that's the greed factor, trying to get 100% return in a month.
Yeah, or listening to a scammer. The book says the money doesn't just get lost, it actively runs away from you. The whole theme is that wealth is grown slowly, and trying to speed it up usually just destroys it.
Now, there's one very specific scenario that the book covers that I think we have to talk about. Because saving 10% is great if you're starting at zero. But what if you're in the hole? What if you're deep in debt?
It does, and this is where the book gets very tactical. In the section with the camel trader, there's a specific plan for debt elimination. And honestly, this might be the most valuable part for a modern listener.
And the advice isn't starve yourself until the debt is paid, which is what you might expect.
No, not at all. It's the 70-20-10 rule.
Okay, break that down for us, because the math here is specific.
The rule is you live on 70% of your income. That's for your home, food, everything. You take 20% and you use that to pay back your debts. And this is the part people argue about. You still keep 10% for yourself to save.
Wait, hold on a second. So even if you owe people money, and in Babylon, I mean, they'd throw you in jail for this stuff, you are still supposed to save that 10% for yourself.
You are.
Why not just, I mean, wouldn't you just throw all of that extra 30% at the debt to get rid of it faster?
Logically, you'd think so. Mathematically, maybe. But psychologically, it's a terrible idea.
How so?
Because if you use all your surplus to pay debt, you still feel poor. You're just working to get back to zero. You have no fattening purse to give you confidence. By saving that 10%, you are building an asset column at the exact same time you're shrinking the liability column. You're actually seeing wealth grow, even if it's small. That gives you the morale to keep going.
That's such a good point. You're feeding your future self while cleaning up your past mess. It changes your identity from debtor to saver.
Exactly. And with that 20% for debt, the book suggests you go to your creditors and say, look, here's the reality. I can pay you this portion reliably every month.
That takes some guts.
It does. But in the story, the creditors usually accept because they see a plan. They see discipline. It turns a chaotic emotional situation, I'm drowning, into a boring math problem.
It empowers the debtor. You're not hiding anymore. You're taking control.
Yeah.
So when you step back and look at the whole thing, the legend, the cures, the laws, the debt plan, what's the big picture? What was Clason really trying to say?
I think the big picture is the difference between income and wealth. We confuse those two all the time.
Right.
A high income doesn't make you rich if you spend it all. If you make $1 million and spend $1 million, you're just a high-class broke person. Wealth is the asset that works for you.
It's the water in the reservoir, not the water flowing through the pipe.
That's a great analogy. And the barrier to filling that reservoir isn't usually bad luck. It's our own romantic desires to get rich quick and our refusal to listen to expert advice.
It's conquering your own impulses.
It is. And I want to circle back to that archaeologist framing you mentioned, because the book does something so clever at the end.
Oh, right. The meta-narrative with the letters.
Yeah. The book concludes with these letters between an archaeologist and a university professor in the 1920s who are translating these tablets. And they realize their own financial struggles in the modern world are exactly the same.
So Clason is explicitly bridging the gap for the reader. He's showing that nothing has changed.
Exactly. The archaeologist actually tries the 7-0-20-10 plan himself and writes back that it saved his financial life. It's Clason saying, this worked 4,000 years ago, and it works in 1926.
And we can safely say it still works today. It just reinforces that while technology changes, human behavior, it really doesn't. We still want things we can't afford, we still trust the wrong people, and we procrastinate.
But we also have the capacity to learn. There's a great line that summarizes the antidote to all this. Work attracts friends. Work attracts money and opportunity.
Hard work is the best friend I've ever had. That's the quote.
It just dispels the whole idea of luck. The goddess of good luck, as Arkad calls her, isn't some magical spirit. She's just preparation meeting opportunity. She only visits people who are already in motion.
That's a powerful place to land. It puts the ball firmly in our court. It says wealth isn't something that happens to you. It's something you do.
Right. It removes the excuse of victimhood.
So here's something for you to think about as you go about your week. The parable of the camel trader ends with this phrase: where the determination is, a way can be found.
Simple but heavy.
It is. But I want to leave you with a question based on Arkad's biggest mistake. Look at your own life, where you're putting your time, your money, your trust, and ask yourself, are you currently taking advice about jewels from a brickmaker? Are you listening to the wrong people just because they sound confident? And if you are, what is that actually costing you?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Thanks for diving in with us. We'll see you next time.